allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bunton.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Dempsey.
Here.
Fournier.
Here.
Crop.
Here.
Menser.
Okay. Announcements, acknowledgements, communications, and reports. Do we have any? Seeing none, need a motion to adopt the agenda?
Move to adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
Roll call?
Bunton.
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Crop.
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Okay, public participation. This is the time you may address this body. All we ask is that you give us your name, your residential address, and that you adhere to the 3-minute rule. Mic's open. Go ahead. Come on up.
Just gotta get out this thing. All right. I'd like to do this 2-2-1 task. Can you, okay, yeah, that's just for the TV. Hopefully this is the last time I rant about this subject. This is about the word marijuana. I hate that word. Not as much as the N word, both iterations of it. But I will explain my hatred of this word now. I try not to hate people, even though sometimes I fail at that. But usually I hate words. I hate ideas. Most are good, some are bad. I don't want to say evil because everyone has a way to justify themselves over their ideas nowadays. So let's discuss how the word was created, for one thing, warped into a racist epithet, and then whitewashed into our common culture. And instead of the internet, I had decided to pick up a few books from my and your local library. So let's start with Getting High, Marijuana Through the Ages. I will flip to the excerpt I have gotten here. Yeah. All right. Limited but clear evidence shows that people in the United States first began to smoke marijuana cigarettes on the eve of World War I. These pioneers were laborers recruited in Mexico during the early 1900s to mine ore, maintain railroad tracks, and harvest crops in the western United States. When Mexico's Great Revolution of 1910 began, the northern part of the country was a major battlefield, dominated by the revolutionary general Pancho Villa. La Cucaracha, the song famously sung by Villa's followers, refers to marijuana in its lyrics. So this proves that the word marijuana was created by La Cucaracha. Now, the next book is Through a Glass Darkly, The Psychological Effects of Marijuana and Hashish. I couldn't find this at the book, but I did find this on Amazon for 1 penny. Now, let's go to the excerpt that I have found in this one, and it is, by the mid-1930s, several states have enacted regulations to control the use of marijuana, and the Federal Bureau of Narcotics urged Congress to pass similar federal regulations. Moss and Tarter, 1993. I'm sure that's a reference to where it came from. Widespread rumors that marijuana caused crazed violence persisted, even though the violence had to do more with the lifestyle of smokers than the marijuana they were smoking. In 1937, Congress passed the Marijuana Tax Act, which prohibited even the medicinal use of marijuana. Royce and Strach, 1996. Now, the last section that I will use is from the book, Marijuana is Safer, but Why Are We Driving People to Drink? Now this goes, here we go. Now, by the late 1920s, we're going to go back a bit here, lurid newspaper headlines and editorials promoting the alleged dangers of marijuana began sweeping the nation. The excerpt taken in July 6 to 1927, a New York Times story epitomizes the content and tone of much of the reporting of this era. The title is Mexican Family Goes Insane. A widow and her 4 children have been driven insane by eating the marijuana plant. According to doctors.
Your time's up.
Thank you. I tried.
You tried. Thank you.
Good evening. Thomas Barnes, 291 Jones Street. Usually when I come before this board, I have all these wonderful things to say, but tonight I have a lot of questions. Questions regarding our medical marijuana ordinances and the transparency of what is happening in our medical marijuana licensing and regulations. Reading through some of our state policies, I read that we were supposed to have open meetings regarding who got the permits for said medical marijuana dispensaries. I have had the privilege of being in rooms and meeting with people who have discussed openly about what things they're planning on doing for the city of Mount Clemens when these ordinances and these licenses come down the pipeline. I'm just wondering, in a place where marijuana could be so detrimental to some of us, not to all of us, but to some of us, I'm really wondering why it would seem to me, a resident of the city, that this panel is not being transparent in the scoring behind who is getting these licenses, behind who and what is getting them and where they're building them at, and what kind of things will be happening. During the zoning board meeting, I learned that one of the promises to the city was economic redevelopment on the north end of town, which seems to me, it seems crazy when the citizens of that community are not being made aware of what this board and commission plans on doing as it relates to medical marijuana. Being somebody who works with kids, I have been awestruck at the fact that I just had to deal with a 12-year-old child who was just expelled from our community school district for possessing a half ounce of marijuana that was not his. This marijuana legislation is detrimental to our children. If we do not go in this with open eyes, if you run through this lazily, it is going to hurt a community of children who have no bearing on what is right and what is wrong when we're speaking upon marijuana. We don't know what is right and what is wrong. If we're trying to lift the old adage that marijuana is wrong and tell our kids that marijuana is wrong or it's right, and you have a 12-year-old child who reads at a 5-year-old reading level who is now expelled from school over possession of a substance that we have now opened the floodgates to. We need to be more open and transparent from this board and the committees set forth by this board about how this is going to impact our city. I'm not saying that I'm for or against marijuana in either way, but I would really like to see what is happening when you start adding, because it seems to me that this big money has come into play, and there are a lot of things being done that is not being made aware to the rest of us. I want to know if the Gibraltar property is being developed.
Thank you.
What is happening and when is it happening?
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mayor Dempsey, City Commission, George Kale, 180 Grand. I was going to have a whole different slant on what I wanted to present or say to you guys, but I'm going to change that based upon the work session we just came from. We can all work together. This is a vibrant community. We have to figure these things out. We have to do it together in a very, very transparent way. Perhaps what we could do is form some sort of a committee, a permanent committee, in regard to this medical marijuana. It does seem to be that there's a lot of loose ends that are taking place right now as the site selection was taking place, as some of the participants that have shown up in this community to, of course, get involved in the medical marijuana business. And we need to also look at opting into the REC Act. The REC Act is very important to collect additional revenues for this community, but we have to do it in a cohesive, educated, and transparent way so that the citizens that are directly impacted by this with their community and the location of the provisioning centers or the grow operations are also aware of what's taking place so that we're all in it together, that we can all, of course, do the right thing. And the reason why we do the right thing is tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Administrative responses, none. I need a motion to approve the minutes from previous meetings.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes from September 16th, 2019 as presented.
Support. Roll call, please.
Campbell.
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
Pratt.
Yes.
Menser.
Yes.
Bunten.
Yes.
Okay, general business, 9A, request approval of the sale of vacant city-owned lot at 20 northbound Gratiot. I need a motion.
Motion to move to authorize the sale of 20 northbound Gratiot to Diane Frizzle and to authorize the mayor and clerk to sign the necessary documents executing the sale.
Support. City Administration is recommending that the Commission authorize the sale of 20 northbound Gratiot to Diana Frizzell of 43750 Colonial Drive, Clinton Township, Michigan, for the amount of $400. Ms. Frizzell would like to build a new home on the lot. If approved, the city attorney will prepare the appropriate settlement statements and quitclaim deeds.
Any questions? Commissioner Menzer?
How long has that property been vacant?
I believe the house was demolished 2009, 2010, in that time frame.
Okay.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell.
Yes.
Okay. 9B, I need approval of purchase and payments of invoices. Need a
Move to
motion.
approve purchases and payment of invoices as presented.
Support.
Questions? Roll call.
Fournier,
Yes.
Kraft,
Yes.
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey.
Yes. Consent agenda, need a motion?
Move to approve consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Roll call.
Kraft,
Yes.
Menzer,
Yes.
Bunton,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Dempsey,
Yes.
Fournier.
Yes.
City manager's report.
The Mount Clemens State of the City was held on Friday, October 4th, 2019. We wish to thank the Macomb County Chamber and Open University for hosting the event. Residents can view the event on our local cable news network channel beginning October 11th on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 7 p.m., and on the city's website at www.cityofmountclemens.com. Nominations are now being accepted for the local treasurer award. Nomination forms are available at City Hall in the city manager's office and on the city's website at www.cityofmountclemens.com. The deadline to submit nominations is Monday, December 16th, 2019. The Columbus Day Parade will take place on Saturday, October 12th, 2019. The parade assembly will begin at 9:30 a.m. on Main Street. The parade will begin at 11 a.m. on Main Street from Robertson to Market Street. Main Street will remain closed until approximately 1 p.m. when the parade concludes. The Downtown Development Authority is hosting a Zombie Parade Walk fundraiser on Saturday, October 19th from 7 till 9 p.m. at the Fountain Stage. Proceeds will benefit the Macomb County Animal Shelter. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, are there any questions? No? Okay, Commissioner comments. Commissioner Campbell?
All I want to say is all the residents that came to the meeting tonight on the possible sale of Olson Park, there were residents on both sides, so in order to make an informed decision, I'm glad that we're going to move forward with hearing what the options are that'll be the best for the city and the residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Kraft?
I would like to add a ditto to that. It was really good to see so many people with so many varying opinions. It gave us a really good sense of, before we get into the process, where a lot of the neighborhood stands, and that is really important in this process. And that's about all I have today.
Thank you. Commissioner Kraft? Sorry. Commissioner Button, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just,
I'm good. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank the family and friends that was responsible for the awesome memorial for Sonny Ford at our last meeting. It was very touching. In fact, it was so touching that it brought back a flood of emotions that I thought I had subdued. It was indeed very moving. So, again, I thank everyone that had a part in that tribute, and again, it was just magnificent. I think our country, our society is at a point now where there's so much animosity, so much opposition. It's a good thing to continue to remind everybody that there are things that you need to celebrate, things that are from day to day that you need to think about and to just lighten your load a little. So these are not necessarily something to lighten your load, but things of public interest. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I know that a lot of men think that that doesn't include them, but it does. And so women, men, at a certain age, you should be checked and have comfort in knowing that you're not going to be affected by that disease. Also, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we need again to know that domestic violence is not just for women, it's for men and women. Everybody can be domestically included in violence. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And it's not an embarrassment, it's not a slap on your manhood if you have to go in and seek help. So if that occurs, consider that. It also is National Diabetes Month, so keep that in mind. You need to, if you start having symptoms, get it checked, because diabetes can kill. Some special days to celebrate. October 8th is Yom Kippur. In the Jewish religion, Yom Kippur is a day of atonement. It is a day set aside to atone for the sins that they have committed. They seek forgiveness from God and seek forgiveness from all those who they may have offended or that have offended them. They can have reconciliation with them. October 13th, Festival of Sukkot, a joyous festival holiday celebrating the 40 years the Jewish people wandered in the desert after leaving Egypt. If those don't get you, here's one that should. October 14th, Columbus Day, and we're going to start celebrating that as Discoverer's Day, because Christopher Columbus discovered the existence of the New World for Europeans until, wait a minute, did I say that right? Let me start again. Christopher Columbus discovered the existence of the New World for Europeans that, until that time, believed that the world was still flat. Native Americans and Nordic explorers had already discovered the continent hundreds of years before that. Columbus actually landed on an island in the Caribbean. October 20th, this should get anybody. Herbert Birch Kingston, a Cleveland, Ohio philanthropist and candy company employee, started Sweetest Day in 1922. He wanted to bring joy and happiness to shut-ins, orphans, and underprivileged by giving them candy and small gifts. This thought spread to offer candy and gifts to strangers in need, to friends, to loved ones, regardless of their status. And so I'd like to see everybody celebrate that, and I'm available to take any candy anybody has. Commissioner Wisdom, I'm going to give you one that my mother sprang on me. I only have 2 more of these wonderful sessions to attend. So I started my 8 years ago with quotes from my mother, and this is one, and I'll have to explain it after I get finished with it, I guess. I can see through that rock farther than you can throw it. Now, it took me a long time to try to figure out what that meant. What it really means is that the rock is a lie. And at the time that she was asking me something, she was asking me something that I ended up saying a slight untruth. And she would just remind me, I can see through that farther than you can throw it. And so to Mrs. Bunton from way back when, I finally got it. And with that, we'll say goodnight.
Thank you. Commissioner Forney.
That is a great saying. I have to remember that one. I do also want to thank all the residents from the area that came out regarding the Olson Park issue. There's so many issues that we don't hear from anyone on, and it was really great to hear what they had to say. And I'm hoping, even though we have looked at this the problems that are there in the past, that maybe working collaboratively, we can all find a mutual solution there that works for everybody. And so we will talk about that in the future. And when we talk about so many issues going on in the city, I attended the State of the City address that our mayor, Dempsey, did a few days ago. And it was a reminder of all the good things that have happened in this city. And if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go out there and look at the video. It's very good. And with that, I hope you have a great night and see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you. Commissioner Mentzer.
So there were probably about 20 people, give or take a few, in the workshop tonight from the Seminole Hills area to talk about Olson. This shows you what the power of a social media post is. That social media post came out last night, and in a very short time, they gathered enough people to come in here and give us their opinions and persuade us of what they needed to see in order for that to go through. So social media can be used for positive things, and I hope that we witness more of that. So our battling bathers, they are 4-2. 4-2. Their homecoming football game is this Friday the 11th at 7 o'clock. I hope that you all come out there and that we fill the stands and let these kids know that we have their backs, that we are there for them, and that we notice and appreciate and applaud the wonderful things that they're doing. 7 o'clock Friday. Commissioner Fournier and I participated, and Mayor Dempsey brought pizza in our 5th Neighbors Helping Neighbors. We helped a lady who just simply needed some assistance getting her yard, reclaiming it from the wild. We did a great bit of work in the rain. Every time that we do these, something funny happens. We work hard, we laugh hard. We have been stung by bees, we have gotten poison ivy, we have been attacked and swallowed by rose bushes. There will be another one. In fact, we have 2 on the books that we want to get done before the end of the year. Our next one, Gina New has been coordinating these, and Gina will have a post out, I'm sure, hopefully today or tomorrow, indicating when the next one is. It's going to either be the 19th or the 20th, and it is a disabled lady in the city who simply needs some help. So that will be our 6th one of the season. I wanted to give a shout out to Fox Labs International. They're over on Church Street. I read about them today in a Commerce Department report. This company, Fox Labs International, just a small little building on Church, are one of the premier makers of pepper spray. And the Commerce Department shouted them out for the quality of their products. They sell this pepper spray to military, to the government officials, to tactical units, to law enforcement, and to the Secret Service. So this is a Mount Clemens company being shouted out nationally for having good products and doing good work. And I think we need to recognize that more often. And the final thing I'm going to say tonight is, yesterday, I'm going to take a page from Commissioner Button. Yesterday was the 100th anniversary of the passing of the 19th Amendment that gave women the right to vote. So in this election, in this mayoral election, in the commissioner election, we have quite a number of women running, and we should be proud of that. So that's what I have tonight.
Well, on that note, I need a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Support. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.